Well, first of all, hi everyone. I am Sergio Matei. I am an indie maker. I've been shipping products since I was pretty much a kid, but not very formally until recently, right? I've had a long history of little apps I want to build and little startups too. And my first successful product was my latest one, right? So it's MakerLog. It's a community of makers shipping together, right, and encouraging each other to ship. And I just love to share a lot of knowledge I've gathered during this whole wild ride of actually getting a product to work. I mean, it doesn't happen frequently for me. It's never happened before, and I've learned so much from the maker community that I just like to share a little bit. So the first thing I've learned, because I divided this into a few sections, I'd like to preface this too with I haven't really prepared this very much. It's more of just a collection of knowledge. And the first thing I've learned is, and this is a key takeaway that I want everybody to know, is that you can build. I see that indie maker, the indie maker community faces a very big obstacle, and from people mostly from people getting into the community, like joining and getting started with their own products, right? And I think the biggest hurdle is mental. It's all mental. And I came up with a set of rules, right? That have been more like a way of life for me for the past 6 months, right? And number one is for those getting started here, you can make a successful product. Nowadays, with technology, with the democratization of technology, with everybody being able to pick up documentation and learn how to code, right? You can build a successful product. It's no longer reserved to VC funded stuff, right? It's no longer reserved to people who just have an insane amount of capital to spend on, right? It's now accessible to everybody. And I want everybody who's trying to get started or just still hustling and getting that success towards a product to just know, yes, you can make a successful product. The second golden rule of indie making: you can learn to code. If you don't know how to code yet, don't worry about it. Code seems hard, it really is, but nowadays there's a lot of resources for you to get started, right? And for example, 301 days of code and 100 days of code. Yeah, there's a lot of resources out there. So you definitely can learn to code. It's not it seems hard. It seems like a really insane struggle. It's like learning a new language essentially. But you can do it. And the golden rule number 3: you can build great things. Because there's a difference between successful and great. There really is. But the last one I feel is the most important, because great for me entails building something that has an impact. And you alone, and not necessarily being, you don't need to be a VC business to do something that has a massive impact on much people, right? You can impact lives, you can change lives. And I think that's something I discovered with MakerLog, that you can make a great product. So I want those three to be the key takeaways from my experience, guys, because this is something that has guided me for the past X number of months. And nowadays, then again, as I repeat over and over again, there's so many resources to get started. 100 days of code, 301 days of code, documentation. You can do this. Go do it. Get started. Go indie making. Now, there's another part that I really want to talk about. You can build, and you can also build an audience. So in my notes right now, I put this down as a very interesting part because I have a bullet here, literally called "I have a product. What do I do? Help." Marketing is literally the hardest part of building product, right? But You can do it. You can also do this. This is shaping up to be more of a motivational talk to indie makers here. Um, there's three keywords here that you gotta take away too. And I've learned these by making MakerLog into what it is now. I've learned these by just trial and error and just being myself on the internet. And I've learned that there's three core values that you need to keep. Number one, transparency. Number two, honesty. And number three, humanity. Transparency.
Sergio, Sergio, can you share your screen?
Oh,
I'll make a log.
oh, sure. It would be kind of like it would be an interesting dynamic because I'm streaming right now. But let's see. I can totally do that. Okay. Bingo. There we go. All right, so I'm screen sharing. You probably can't see my face now, but
Yeah, it's okay. We can see the screen. But can you share the make a log of the page?
the Notion page, sure, I'll send it. Um, the three keywords are essentially transparency, honesty, and humanity. If you're making a product, number one, be transparent about statistics, your intentions. Be transparent about everything, and be honest. And by honesty, I mean uh, don't hide your intentions when marketing. Don't be that guy. You know, uh, generally, just be honest about everything, right? And human when it comes to humanity, right? Don't be a spammer. Don't be, that guy who goes everywhere with the same pitch and just copies and pastes that same email to everybody, right? Just be human. Go to people and tell them, hey, I'm here. I have this awesome product and I want to share it with you because I think it would probably benefit you a lot, right? And those are the three key things I've learned in my journey. And now, the last point I really want to touch is you can launch well. You can make a product that will go viral on Product Hunt. You can totally do this. It's not a thing reserved to people who have like 50 million followers on Twitter or something. You can make a product that goes viral on Product Hunt. You can get a lot of success and a lot of marketing from that launch. You can do super well. But then again, here comes the another issue. The biggest hurdle here is also mental. Because most people, including myself, I went through this hurdle, have this problem in which we are afraid of sharing our things with others because we are afraid of feedback, perhaps. Hey, what if this person won't like what I made and I spent a lot of effort in it, right? It's all comes down to we are all afraid of reactions. We're all afraid of what other people might think about what we're doing, right? And that's a big mental hurdle that a lot of makers, especially starting out, maybe with their first product launch, have to go through, right? My best tip here is don't be afraid of feedback. Use it as your advantage, as your competitive advantage. Use it to improve your product, and you will get a lot of feedback. That is people probably screaming at you and going like, "Oh wow, this doesn't work. Fix it." Right? But it's never take it more as a constructive thing. It's never personal. Take it in a very constructive fashion. Use it as your competitive advantage and just take that feedback and run with it and make amazing things with that feedback. Make an amazing product, right? And a few other tips. I remember that on my first product launch, I talked to Dinuka, which is the creator of Maker's Kitchen, which is another great community you guys should check out if you're starting out indie making. Dinuka told me a bunch of tips on how to make a successful product hunt launch. I'll probably release them on Twitter sometime if he sends me that list again. And it boils down to make it clickbaity. It sounds like a bad thing, but really just aspire for maximum clickbait. Live stream that launch because it gets a lot of buzz, and not only that, it's super motivating. Like live stream that launch, show people what you're making, show it down on Twitch, And then again, also apply the three principles that I just talked about: transparency, honesty, and humanity. Be clickbaity, but don't be non-human. Be a human. Be just yourself. Show people, hey, I'm making this. This is absolutely cool. You should really try it. It will improve your life by a factor of a million. You know, just be yourself. Plan that launch out, and of course, have fun with it. Indie making is not just about revenue, it's also about having fun. It's been a very fun journey. It's all about learning, becoming a better human. And that's pretty much all I wanted to share. That's all I've learned in the past 6 months. And it's been an incredible journey. There's a lot of resources out there. And if you want to create a product, if you want to change lives, if you want to change the world, make an impact, go ahead, make a product and do it because you can. So
Sergio,
thanks, guys, for listening to my little massive knowledge dump.
have I asked you?
Oh, sorry, I can't hear you.
Introduce Game Clark. I'm showing to the people now.
Have I asked you?
Asking this.
Sergio,
What's up?
yeah, some of us doesn't know what is the MakerWell, so can you introduce a little bit?
A little bit about MakerLog. Okay, MakerLog is a community of indie makers shipping products together, and there's a lot of people starting out, right? There's a lot of people who are experienced indie makers, and they all get into place sharing their tasks, what they do daily, right? To stay accountable, provide feedback, and just make a generally super useful community for everybody, right? Uh, it currently has 2,000 members. It's slowly growing, and it's just been an amazing ride. And we are super open to bringing new indie makers into the scene and helping them out, providing positive feedback, and staying accountable by just shipping, 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 shipping.